Good morning. Good morning. I have hit the record button immediately, so we're good to go. It's the 44th consecutive live stream. If you know me, you know that I like to mess with things. And so I was like, hey, I've always wanted to see if the auto features work on my camera. Like, why don't I just change those up before the episode, before the live stream? And then I said to myself, that's the worst idea I could ever think of, because that would get me thrown off the platform, and would have to restart, and then there'd be two streams, and then that would be bad. So, how are you this morning? I am wearing my favorite. I have two. I have a number of favorite shirts. This one is a Brooks Brothers shirt. It doesn't say Brooks Brothers on it anywhere. It's just a nice pull up, zip up sweater. It makes me feel warm and comfortable, and that's all I want out of a shirt. When I was like 20, 22, there was a shirt I called the Charlie Brown shirt, and I wore it for like 3 years straight, pretty much every day I could, and I loved that shirt. I loved it so much that if I could find it again, I would buy it. My wife would hate me because I'm not 20 anymore. It was so comfortable. One of the things I liked about it is it had open cuffs at the bottom. I mean, I realize it's hard hitting news this morning to tell you that I really liked a sweater that I had in 20 years ago. Yeah, about 20 years ago. But I did, and I loved it. And so, yeah. So, this is okay. It's not to that level, but I like to wear it. When you're on video every day, it kind of gets weird for like clothes. You don't want to make anybody like not watch you because they've seen you wear the same shirt. But I'm of the opinion that you need to change, of course. But I mean, like, I just like this shirt. You'll see I wear a lot of gray shirts. I don't know. So how are you this morning? I think that we don't ask enough how the chat is, or how you are when you're watching this at 10 o'clock at night or 2 o'clock in the morning. How are you doing? Things going good for you? I hope so. I mean, if you're watching my stream, okay, if you're watching my stuff, you're a good person. Don't kid yourself. Now, if you're watching me because you hate me, well, that's fine too. You're a good person. I'm not gonna kick anybody that watches my stuff. I appreciate it. Yesterday was I just worked all day. I mean, I just worked all day. It got to be 9 o'clock, and I was like, I'm tired. I just want to go watch some TV and be done with this. And this weekend is going to be rough. I wouldn't say my business is picking up, in the sense that I have a bunch of people that want to see houses, and depending on when they decide to buy, then I would say my business has picked up. I look at that statement as saying there's money in the bank. I could say showings have picked up. I can say, my buyer load, or the amount of buyers I have. In a strange way, I'm going to transition a little bit today. I'm going to do an article that I saw, and I kind of wanted to go over it with you. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it because I'm doing it in a weird way. I didn't look it up ahead of time. It just occurred to me. But it's kind of pertinent to what we're talking about. It's not that one. The one that I was looking at. I'm gonna find it because I don't lose stuff. What's funny is I don't know. What's funny is the way it's set up. I hate to put dead air. I'm sorry about that. Um, you know, the thing is like I've said this before. Google in search, even though they do terrible things, they're still so much better at search than anybody else. And I keep trying to find someone else. Believe me. I'll figure it out. Okay, I think I got it. I thought it was 3. Okay, good. I got it. It's 4 questions that you should ask a real estate agent before hiring one. And I thought that was relevant. The reason why I say that is because one of the questions kind of leads into what I was going to do. I think I was going to make a podcast episode about this, but I've got an idea about what I'm going to do today as soon as I read up on it. So I don't need it for that. So let me just flip it over to you guys, and we'll just go over it. It says 4 questions to ask a real estate agent before hiring one. And I was like, well, that's good. I have had people ask me questions before they hired me, like in an interview format. And I've had buyer's agents ask me, or people ask me as buyer's agents, and people ask me as listing agents. I will say this: listing agent questions tend to be more along the lines of how much can I sell my house for? What do I need to do to fix up my house to get it the right price? How much do you charge? And those are the questions. It's more related to the house. Buyer's agent questions tend to be kind of everywhere, all over the place, because they don't know what they're doing. That's why they're looking for a buyer's agent. So you really just want to build a rapport with both groups. This one is 4 questions to ask a real estate agent before hiring one, and it's based on the seller side. But I think it'll help here. So it says, how well do you know this area? That's a question you should ask. So I only work in 4 counties, but that's the majority of the population in St. Louis. My answer to that was, I know everything pretty well. However, there's a bias that people tend to have when they believe they know an area perfectly. And so I always refer back to my my research before I list a house, because I don't want to be wrong. And then I also look at it as a collaborative effort. So I'll send over any new listings that come up before the market, or before the house goes on the market, and then while the house is on the market, so you can see the competition that your house is in. That's how I answer that question. And it's not a canned answer. I didn't memorize a script for that. It's just the way it is. It's easy to answer questions confidently when you when you know what it is you're talking about. How many clients are you working with now? And this is the question that tied in with my buyer's agency situation. So it says, if a real estate agent barely has a handful of clients, that could be a red flag. On the other hand, you don't want to hire a real estate agent with too many clients, because if that person is juggling several dozen people at once, it means you may not get the personal attention you want when you're selling a home. There's no specific sweet spot to aim for, though. And you may find an agent who has a hefty client load, but also a robust support staff to manage it. That too can and should play a role in your decision. So, I mean, I look at my board and I don't really, how do we count them? First of all, do we count? I have some people that are buying and selling a home. I have some people that are just selling a home, and I have some people that are just buying a home. My board is huge. 10, 12. But some people call me every weekend and some people don't call me at all. So I don't know. I wouldn't know how to answer that question to where the seller would be, completely pleased with the answer. I'd be like 5 listings coming up maybe, but who knows when they'll be. But hopefully you've already started with doing things that you say you're going to do. You say you're going to be someplace, be someplace. If you say you're going to call somebody, call somebody. Establish a level of trust with these people immediately. Hopefully that will work. Like if someone said, I won't hire anybody that has less than 5 listings actively, well, they're not going to hire me. I don't have 5 active listings. It's just the way it is. But on the buyer side, like I'm one agent. I have Jan that can always take over if I get too busy. But like I show houses on the weekends every weekend. It's not unusual. And we work things out to where I can show houses whenever you need it. How long of a contract must I sign? Well, I think that's a weird question because it has to do with how I've not seen the house yet. So how do I know? How long? I don't know how is the market gonna go? I tend to go with a long time because I don't want to redo contracts. I don't want to resign. I don't want to redo them. So I just leave them pretty long so that we know that the whole transaction will be done before the contract expires. And then what commission do you charge? Well, it varies. I don't know anything about the person. I don't know anything about the house. I don't know what I'm going to need to do. So I have no idea. This is my thought. So on the busy agent thing, yeah, agents can get busy and they can get overwhelmed. There's a certain time of the year that I expect it. It's going to be pretty much June and July. It's going to be when my wife wants to go on vacation with the kids. And then it's going to be a problem because I don't want to go then. But if you want to go on vacation in February, I'm all for it. I'd be happy to go. But that's how it is. That's how it is. And this weekend's going to be tough. So how does that fit in with the podcasts and the live streams and all that stuff? Well, I like live streaming. I don't know why. I'm not very good at it. I don't have a large following. Yesterday when we read that, or a couple days back when we read that a woman had 8.25 million followers, and I'm sitting here at 54 subscribers. Gosh. And I have 4 people that tend to watch the program every day. On the replays, I typically don't have anybody chatting with me because it's 9 o'clock on what is today, Tuesday? So I'm not going to quit the live streams. Am I going to be able to do them right at 9 o'clock on Saturday mornings and Sunday mornings? I don't know about that. I might have to do them in between. I typically show groups of houses on the weekend. I typically don't just show one house. So I'm working with a buyer and we'll see like 4 houses or 5 houses. I won't show more than 5 because people get confused. They start taking each house that they've seen and adding what they like about each house into this house that doesn't exist. And then when they come back and they're like, I want to buy that house, I'm like, that house doesn't exist. You've just combined everything you like about every house. It's not going to work. So that's where I'm at on the live streams. I do plan on doing them. They may not be They may not be at the same time. Now, I like the podcast. Okay. The podcast, I've always thought of it as a couple things. One, it should be a place where I can interview people. But I'm very selective about who I interview, and other people are selective about who they'll go on with. Most people aren't going to go on with somebody that's not monetized and has 54 subscribers. Just being honest. I mean, the quality of guests I can get is not high. And as I've told you, I don't know that I'm a good interviewer. I don't know. I've never interviewed anybody, especially not online. So who knows how that'll go. It's going to happen, but it's not going to happen today. Plus, I think I should get different software for that. I think I should be on like StreamYard or Melon. I'm running Streamlabs right now, and I like it. I'm not very good at it, but you know, I think that if you do, for instance, if you do a live stream, I think that it should have an option to auto record rather than me press the button, because I've lost like probably 25 episodes of just me not hitting the record button on a live stream. On the podcast, I have been doing them every day for a long time. Do I continue doing? I mean, the problem with the live stream, or the problem with the podcast that you don't see, is that for me to render them takes about an hour and a half after I've shot them. So and it takes all my computing power. And I'm not, you know, we talked in the beginning, it was like, is my computer going to make it? Well, my computer is going to make it. Okay. And I have to make some sacrifices in the sense that, you know, if I do start rendering the video, I can't really do heavy graphics or video things on my computer because it just doesn't like that. It'll just make it take longer. So, I mean, I'm kind of stuck in that spot. If I have the year that I think I'm going to have, can I afford a new computer at the end of the year? Yes. But I thought I was going to have a good year last year, and it was terrible. Terrible. Not proud of it. So, wanted to go over something. How do I put it? We're not supposed to talk bad about other real estate agents, okay? So I'm not going to call out people's names. I'm not going to call out anything about them. But something has to be said for the quality of real estate agent that's out there. Okay. Now, am I the best real estate agent in the world? I don't know that I'm the best agent in the world. I'm pretty good in St. Louis, but it's how you define best. Okay. Is the best agent the agent that gets the most listings? Well, the agent that typically gets the most listings in St. Louis is a foreclosure company or a flat fee listing service. I'm not a flat fee listing service, and I'm not a foreclosure company, so I'm typically not at the top. Okay. Now, if it's not volume, what about just based on regular agents? Are you the top agent there? Well, no, I'm not. Why not? Well, the bigger offices tend to have teams made of 20 or 30 agents, mostly on the buyer side, because it takes more time to work with buyers than it does with sellers, which is why when I tell people what they should list their house for, at least on the commission side, it's like, look, it costs more money for someone to go show houses all the time. Like I'm likely to show between 20 and 50 houses, and it could take me a year or longer before I find a home for someone. Okay. It's a lot of time. And you know, if you come in at like a $100,000 house, I'm not going to make any money. It's going to be a loser for me. You say, well, why do you take a $100,000 house to begin with? Well, the person's nice. I'll do it. You know, that's who I am. Is it smart business? Probably not. Probably not. But anyway, some people will say, well, John, if you sell this person a house at $100,000, when they make big money later, they'll use you. It doesn't really work that way. It doesn't work that way. I'll tell you, we've had a couple in the office where we we help a buyer buy a house and we don't get the listing because they've moved on. They feel to a different social stratosphere, a different social group than Deerwood Realty. They want to be associated with a different brand. And so they don't. So the idea that you work with somebody and they appreciate it down the road, I don't think that's so much true anymore. Maybe it was in 1920. but I don't think it's so true now. And this is just reality to me. If it's wrong, if you are a loyal person and do value those things, well, then you're like me. That's all there is to it. But anyway, so as far as best, so I'm not gonna be best on volume even on a regular agency, a commission, brokerage, when I'm competing against someone that's got 20 buyers agents on their staff. I don't have that, and I don't want that company. So, it's a very weird question how to answer what's the best agent, but I know what the worst agents are. And they've got characteristics. Okay, so when you ask what is the worst agent? Well, the worst agents are the ones that are smug, condescending, not professional with other agents, or not professional in general, and the ones that are just flat out liars, like just lie all the time, like everything is a big lie. They lie to their clients, they lie to everyone, so they're just fake people. That's the worst type of agent. And when I show houses, I don't even need to know the agent, but I can almost tell by the way they've listed the house what kind of agent they are. I'm probably accurate 85-90% of the time, just because the same jerks, the same bad agents, they do the same thing over and over again. Okay, and so it's the characteristics. It's the characteristics that cause you to know what an agent's trash. Now, by extension, does that mean the seller's trash? Like on the listing side, is the seller trash if the agent's trash? Either the seller is naive and doesn't know, or they're trashy people too, and so they kind of deserve each other. I'm just being honest. People tend to get what they want in life. I've noticed when I was really working a manual labor job fixing semi trailers in Detroit, Michigan in the winter outside. Okay, and someone would say that they would want to go someplace cheaper or something like that, and I'm out there bleeding, dirty, greasy, beat up, and I'm out there trying to fix a trailer in the cold, and someone's trying to bust me about their wage. It's just like, the wage that we charge, it just was like, go find someone cheaper. And then they would. And then when they found someone cheaper and the work was absolute garbage, then they'd figure it out. It takes a while. You have to be burned a couple of times before that works. Very irritated. One of my favorite viewers is not here today. And I'm just like, there's not that many. So it's like, what's the problem? Why aren't we viewing? So, hey, I went to this house this weekend, and I'm torn. Do I tell my buyers that this agent's trash and this is a bad deal and we don't want to be anything to do with it, or do we just go? Or should I just keep my mouth shut and we just, watch the train wreck? Well, I didn't. So we went. I didn't tell them. We went, and the first thing is like, there's people over people over people. Now we're in the age of the global pandemic, and I have views on the global pandemic that do not fit with the official state narrative, and so I can't say them. But I am concerned. Anytime you're I'm a germaphobe. I can't stand being with a bunch of people anyway. That's why I like to do private showings. I hate open houses for that very reason. But anyway, the guy listed the property. The comps were running in the 3s, and this guy came to market at like 260, 250. So you already knew he was going to get a stampede of people, especially in this market. And so he did. And you say, well, that's great for a seller. He's going to get them the most money. Yeah, there's a way to do it to get the most money and not be a total jerk. right? Well, you'd think so. So anyway, so then he did that. We go to the house. You know, I show my buyers, you know, this is ridiculous. Let's get out of here. They're in total agreement. Then we, oh goodness. Then we, then we get done and said, are we putting an offer? They said, no. I said, good, because the way he's got this, the way he wants to structure this offer, there's no benefit to the buyers whatsoever. Now, in a deal, should there be benefits to both sides? Yes. I firmly believe that. Fair? No, not necessarily. But there should be something in it for both sides. A good negotiation. And the way this guy had it was all his side. All the seller side, nothing for the buyer. You know, it's like this. Here, buyer, you get to buy this house way overpriced because we rigged it, and then you know, you get no recourse. Congratulations. And it's stupid. Plus, the way the house was, the air conditioner was from when the house was built. It was going to need to be redone. The roof was going to need to be redone, and it's just like it was bad. It was bad, and so I was okay with being done with it. And then what got me though is this. He starts using like this board that we use as real estate agents. Instead of just emailing his client, the people that wrote offers, he starts doing this blasting of these emails. And he started on like Monday, and he's like, and the way he wrote the emails is like very sensitive. Like, oh, I know this is the hardest thing in the world to do, but we're us sellers, we're really worried about you, and we're trying so hard to get the best deal possible. He doesn't say for them. He's just like, oh, it's so great. And so then I don't even want to be on this email list because we didn't write an offer. And like, it's a struggle. The guy's got 40 offers, and it's a struggle for him to figure out what the good offers are and what the bad offers are. I can tell you something. Within like 10 minutes, I have to read all the offers, but within about 10 minutes, I can tell you exactly who's in the game and who isn't. And to me, professional respect is either you call the people that don't get the listing or that don't get the house, or you email them individually. You do not send out group texts. You don't send out group messages. And if the people were that important to you, you wouldn't write these stupid things. And then finally, so I get four emails yesterday. The last one says, "Oh, we've come to our decision. Isn't that wonderful? Aren't we so great? We've come to our decision. I've priced something way too low, and my sellers are just inundated with offers, and I'm such a great agent for that. I also charge less on my commission because I'm afraid to negotiate with my own sellers. So I'll make you deal with it. And now we've come to a great thing. There were 3 offers that were better than everyone else's, and then the rest of them were terrible. So we chose the best one of those 3. And if you've gotten this message, it means you didn't get the offer. You didn't get the house. So, and then congratulations, all of you. Congratulations. I know it's hard in this market to be a buyer's agent. And I'm making it very difficult to do that because I'm a jerk. But, hey, enjoy. Bye. Make sure you remember me. And I do remember him, and I will remember him. And the next time I even come close to, if he ever puts an offer on one of my houses, my listings, he's getting the group text. It'll just be him, though, because I'll treat everyone else with respect. It is hard to be a buyer's agent right now. It's hard to be a buyer's agent because you have to put up with people like that. That's why it's hard. They make it hard because they're jerks. I'm done with that. Okay? And by the way, at some point, I did put a note. At some point, you're not helping your clients. You're just being an ass. And this guy, he reached that level. The best thing that could possibly happen to this guy is that the people back out that agreed to buy the house. It goes back on the market, and everyone that got burned said, you know what, you just keep the house. That'd be the best thing that could happen. It's not going to in this market, but that would be the best thing for him. And you know what's going to happen? With his attitude and with what he did, it'll catch up to him. Some sellers, some buyers are going to really, really get a bad deal because of this guy and the way he acts. It's karma. I believe in it. There. That's what I got for that. Okay. So let's get to our articles and things of that nature. I did check Google Trends. There were two things. Number one, all I can say is if someone dies or if a sports team is playing, they will get more searches than anyone else by far. Okay. Someone famous has to die or relatively famous. Or it's a sports team. Alabama and Georgia got 10 million searches yesterday. 10 million searches. That's a lot. Now, I didn't even remember the game was last night. That's how far out of the sport ball I am. And I would have picked Alabama. So, because I think Alabama beat Georgia in the championship game. I think. Please don't get mad at me. I don't remember. As a former sports ball fan, I know that was offensive if I was wrong on the score, so I apologize if I did miss it. Now, that's not what we're going to pay attention to. We're going to pay attention to this. This got 500,000 searches, and I didn't know anything about it. So you may have seen it since it's been searched a lot. I don't even know, how would you know to search for this? Tiny mink filmed capturing snake in Everglades and dragging it across the road. Elusive mammal is threatened species in Florida and rarely seen. So I didn't know what a mink looked like. Apparently that's a mink. And it says capturing a snake in Everglades and dragging it across the road. I didn't know minks ate snakes. I thought there was the mink coat, but I didn't know that they were in the United States. Pardon my ignorance. But part of my live stream is just showing you how ignorant I am about many things. A tiny mink was caught on video capturing a large snake in the Everglades and dragging it across the road. So that's what the video was. It says the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission released the rare footage of the elusive mink. I don't know if you need to do rare footage of elusive mink. If they're elusive, obviously they're rare. After it was shot and submitted to the agency by a lady, I'm guessing. Which is why I'm not showing the video. Imagine the surprise seeing the Everglades mink scampering across the road carrying dinner. It wrote on Facebook. It said a mother and daughter were on their way home from a nature hike in the whatever Strand Preserve State Park, when they spotted this mink run across the road in front of them. Seconds later, it ran back across the road with a giant snake in its mouth. It says the Everglade mink is a state-threatened species and that sightings are rare due to its elusive nature. The diminutive animal, which is a member of the weasel family, can eat snakes twice its own body length, fish, bird, and other small mammals. It says it's hard for scientists to study the number of minks that live in Florida because the species is small sized, fast moving, and excellent in remaining out of sight. They are often confused with a much larger and more common river otter. So now this got me thinking. They don't know how many minks are there, but it's a threatened species, and they can't count them because they're small and they keep to themselves. But like, wouldn't you know the rat population? And they're small and diminutive and everywhere. Do we know how many prairie dogs are out in Denver? They're cute. They're very destructive, though. I don't know. I at 44, I feel like, I'm okay with animals like learning new habitat in a sense. Like, so we live in a subdivision, and yesterday I saw a hawk fly in and just pick up a squirrel and took the squirrel with it. I suspect it's not going to live much longer. Now, I would be sad about that, but we have so many squirrels. Like, there needs to be something done, and that seems like the natural way to do it. Have a hawk just come and take care of things. Now, we're in a subdivision. We're not in a wildlife preserve. I mean, there's dangers. It could hit by a car. The squirrel could get run over. I've gotten that joy. They fall out of the nests every once in a while and dead. Um, we see deer. We see turkey in our neighborhood. We're not in the woods, but there was a giant section of woods that's just been clear cut for new housing across the street. And so, I expect to see more animals, for the time being at least. I'm big on progress. I mean, I'm okay with, it's going to make our neighborhood not so great. It's going to make traffic terrible, but we need more housing. We need more housing. I mean, they're coming in at 700 to start. I'm not going to be able to afford that right now. So, and I don't know that I want a new house. I like where I live. I've lived in the same neighborhood for like 30 out of my 44 years. So, I'm kind of here. But anyway, I wish there was a way to do construction so that animals could be okay in spaces and live, with us. I do wish that. I wish that could be the case, because the habitats are being destroyed, and we are going to have to build more houses. So, and I don't want to lose any more nature. So, a rare moment of rare moment of empathy on my live stream for animals. I mean, I love animals. Don't get me wrong. But anyway, next one. This was interesting to me because I know nothing about this either. It says, why Grand Theft Auto maker Take-Two is buying Zynga for $12.7 billion. Now, Take-Two makes Grand Theft Auto. I was a little bit too old to be in the Grand Theft Auto thing. But if you're probably in your 30s, I suspect that that was big for you. I don't know if it still is. But it says, Wall Street sees the rationale between Take-Two's $12.7 billion deal to buy Zynga, even if traders hate the transaction at first blush. Now, I don't know what Zynga is. It says, but $12.7 billion doesn't seem to be chump change. Take-Two is using its balance sheet and equity to opportunistically buy a good mobile asset in a depressed market. It says the Grand Theft automaker said it would pay 64% premium to scoop up Words with Friends developer Zynga using a mix of cash and stock. Zynga will continue to be led by their own CEO, and they get two seats on Take-Two's board and operate as a standalone label inside the company. The combined company is expected to boast 8,000 game developers. That seems like a lot, but I don't know anything about game development. It said Take-Two shares dropped 15% on concern it would be lured into a bidding war for Zynga and is overpaying for the game developer. Shares of Zynga soared nearly 45%, below the offer price from Take-Two of $9.86. That's kind of interesting. So to me, that means the market doesn't believe that it's going to actually close at that price. Gaming rivals Electronic Arts and Activision Blizzard saw their shares decline slightly. Is the market up or down today? How? I don't even know. I'm trying to stay out of the market. The transaction comes as Zynga's shares plunged 40% in the year leading up to the deal being disclosed, reflecting concern on the street about post-pandemic mobile gaming demand in the company's development pipeline. Valuations were hovering around 5-year lows. So people weren't excited about Take-Two, it sounds like. Take-Two's longtime CEO told an analyst on a call he sees several opportunities to drive synergies. One is their top franchises to be more aggressively on mobile platforms, which is fine. Another upshot is the ability to move faster in emerging markets with free-to-play mobile games. And lastly, the company sees $100 million in annual cost savings from the deal that could be reinvested or brought right to the bottom line. So $100 million, that means like they need fewer developers and they need fewer accountants and they need fewer middle management people. But it's hard for me to believe that that's $100 million. The acquisition significantly increases Take-Two's exposure to mobile, which is less than 10% of revenue. More important, there is a change in the management tone towards focusing on mobile for its core franchise by leveraging Zynga's expertise. Like on the gaming front, on the PlayStation, is it 5? I'm going to talk my ignorance. When I was a kid, we had consoles, okay? So we had like Atari, we had ColecoVision, we had Nintendo. Later, we had Sega, Dreamcast. So we had these things. Gosh, I don't know if I even showed you the thing. I'm sorry if I missed on the screen share. Wasn't my goal. You may have missed the snake too. So I would have known that if it was in chat, but no one chatted with me so far today. Anyway, so that we have the game consoles, and I loved them. And I think I had up to an Xbox. Not all the. I got rid of some. I got rid of my PlayStation in college, because I wanted to study and I didn't want to play games all the time. And then I got rid of. I think I might have had a place. I didn't have. I don't know. Anyway, I would have bought a console at all times because it was more powerful than anything else, and I was very much into playing video games. Now, we couldn't play video games on our phones because our phones were like not even in color originally. We could play maybe Tetris. So my youngest, he's 12, going on 13 soon. She literally plays on her phone all day. She plays games on her phone and thinks nothing of it. Now, I think it's weird. Okay. I mean, why would you want to play on your phone when you could play on your television, right? And then the 17-year-old girl got the brother's PlayStation 4 because he got a Oculus. I don't know that she's going to be playing a lot of games. She used to play on her iPad all the time with her friend in Oakville. So to me, I mean, is the market going to mobile? Well, if you want to be on a 5-inch screen or 6-inch screen, and that seems to be the way you want to play video games, who am I to say no? Right? And if it's less than 10% of your revenue, and if you have like franchises that people would be interested in, I mean, I've heard of Grand Theft Auto. I mean, I know it well enough to know of the brand. I don't know. What do you think? Put your opinion in the comment section. Put it in the chat. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm right. This is just me, kind of an overview of what I see. Let's get to some houses, and I am going to hit the button correctly this time. Here you go. Bam. Houses. Oklahoma City. Anybody know anything about Oklahoma City? I'm going to move my microphone a little bit because I don't like it. Let's see who's listing the most things. So we got Oklahoma Realty and Management, Ken Carpenter Realty, Metro First Realty at Lake Hefner, Adams Family Real Estate, Sotheby's International Realty, Chenoweth and Cohen, Metro Mark Realtors. So nobody really in the, nobody in the top has more than one. You know that I'm like, I need more land. Okay. I need a big lot if I'm going to have a big house. And so let's just look. This is a $4 million house. They dropped it from $4 million to 3.995. So the first picture of a pool, and you know what I think about that. It's got 36 pictures, which I'm okay with at a $4 million house. 7-car garage, which I think is more reflective of today's market than in the past, where a 2-car garage would have been fine. Property history, sold in 2004, listed in 2021 in November. So not too bad. Not too bad. And what is the step into a life of luxury with this fully customized home? Enormous driveway leads to an oversized 7-car garage and a circle drive. Notice the custom imported double metal front door that leads to a breathtaking double grand staircase looking out to the resort style pool. Step into a chef's paradise. I say chefs when I'm reading, I've noticed, but I know the word is chef. Very strange. Paradise in the kitchen with its giant center island, gas range, food warmer, and 2 fridges. Find an open living area with relaxing fireplace and a 400-gallon fish tank. Appreciate the imported Spanish marble floors leading to a theater room and gym with swim spa. The master bathroom features a car wash shower, 2 in-law suite, 1 upstairs, 1 downstairs. These are people that write, these are listing a $4 million house, and we're getting this kind of spelling or this kind of sentence construction. Also, an office with custom built-in shelves and high ceilings. Continue your trip in paradise to the upstairs bonus room with built-in bar. Even more, there are 2 secondary bedrooms upstairs with Jack and Jill bathroom and walk-in closets. Click on the link below. Well, you can't put links in marketing remarks. So I don't like the first picture being of the outside. I'd like the first picture being of the front of the house. Again, now we're in the second picture, still in the back of the house. Third picture, we're going to play picture games today. Fourth picture is the front of the house, finally. One thing I wanted to ask you is, does the word imported mean anything to you anymore? In 1900, when you had to take 7 months to get something from Italy to the United States and it had to be shipped, does that matter? Like, does it matter now with our global supply chain that may or may not be doing well, depending on what political opinion you have? I'm just saying, I don't really think it's as big of a deal as it used to be. Imported, like, think about a car, the Toyota Camry. Maybe it's built in the United States, but Toyota as a company is not. It's a Japanese company, obviously you know that. But do we care about imported things? These are weird to me. I don't understand it. We'll probably find out more later. Now, see, that's right. When you walk in the house, I would have liked the first picture to be the front door and the second picture to be this. And you say, well, John, it's like not in the frame. Yeah, but it's not in the frame, and it makes the place look even more huge. Okay? And it tells me what it is. And that's an entrance. Okay? That's an entrance. And then they've got one this way. So now I'm kind of like, well, you could have just done this first and we'd have been better off. But anyway. Okay. I mean, tastefully done? Okay. You know, do you put in, now this is a real question. We have virtual staging now on a house this size, almost, 11,700 square feet. Do you put in virtual staging? It's a question that I think you should ask. Because you've got some rooms with stuff and some rooms without. Theater room seats always look worn to me. I don't know why that is. Like, it's like, oh, I need to get new chairs if I move there. This is virtual, I believe. Now, in my own MLS, I have to show a picture that is staged first, and then, or a pure picture first, and then a staged picture next, indicating which one is the original. I don't know if I have to indicate it, but I just know. The rules are different by state, so I don't think those are real, and I don't think that's real. Now, this is beautiful. This is a beautiful kitchen. I think it's wonderful. I wanted you to know the rules are different in different boards for virtual staging, and I think that it will get to the point where I won't even know the difference. The only reason why I know the difference now is because I just have an idea about what people. They typically don't list their house with a bunch of stuff in it, and then have pictures with nothing in it. If that makes any sense? See, like, that's not real. None of that is real. Like, but I do think on a $1 million listing, to get some virtual staging in there, I'm okay with. I don't think that's real. I don't think it takes away from the listing, because when you go there, it's going to be empty. Buyers typically have a tough time figuring out what's going to go in their house. Now, in the higher ranges, they're probably going to hire a designer anyway, so it's not as big of a deal. But it's always nice to know, what goes where, and now, does this pool table, is that real? I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't look real to me. It also seems like an odd place. Can you imagine hitting the pool ball over into the downstairs area? What a mess that would cause. There's a lap pool. When I saw those blue windows at first, I thought this might be the spot where that was. $4 million. It doesn't say how many acres or what the size of the lot is. That would be helpful. I just want to check and see if anybody was chatting with me. I didn't see it. See if anybody was in the chat. Okay, so 3.6 million. Okay, let's look at this one. Now, it says it's in Mustang, Oklahoma, so I don't know, obviously if you live in a dense population, a dense area, it's going to be worth more than if you don't. 96 days on the market, 4-car garage built in 2016, 7,000 square feet on a 12.5-acre lot. Property history, sold in 2005, listed in 2009. And it looks like it's been listed ever since then, except for a space. Well, it was removed in 2012. So, and at 875,000, and now we're up to 3.6 million. I do agree with this though. Here's the front of the house. Okay, cool. Here's a picture of the the space. The lot. Okay. I don't know if that's part of it or not. That looks nice. But it's not part of this picture, so that's kind of hard to tell. And then, then if that's true, this is way more than a 4-car garage. Why is the pool so far away from the house? There is your 4-car garage on the back. And now, to me, you show the entranceway. This is not the entrance. So now we're never going to see it. So now we're kind of wandering around the house. I mean, we know it's kind of over there. This is the kitchen. It's nice. There's the front door, and you should see the entranceway. Is that it? Is this from the front door over? I don't know because there's a staircase. So I don't know. And you say, John, well, can you sell this house based on the pictures? No, I don't know what this house should go for. I'm not familiar with Mustang, Oklahoma real estate prices. That's a nice laundry room. It's probably the nicest laundry room I've ever seen. This is like a bar area. I don't know if it's upstairs or downstairs. That's a nice office. Looks like a little tree house or something by a creek. That's what I'm interested in. Are we going to see inside there? No, we're not. So thanks. So, 36 pictures. I didn't see what I needed to see. Designed by renowned architect Brent Gibson and French chateau inspired. 7,200 square foot plus home. Offers the finest luxury and no expense spared. 22-foot ceilings. 5-bedroom, 4-bath, 8-foot walk-through doors. Chef-inspired kitchen with Wolf and Sub-Zero appliances. Wine room, concrete. Safe room. Now, see, we had a safe room this weekend, and they didn't advertise it, which I thought was strange. It says a 40 by 60 shop and a 110 by 45 building, both with Rainer custom 14-inch door or 14-foot doors, house a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,900 square foot mother-in-law suite. And it's a cool house, right? This house caught my eye. Okay, not this one. This didn't catch my eye at all. This house did. This is in Edmond, Oklahoma. I don't know how close that is to Oklahoma City, but I would like to look at it. There's something about it that I like. So I like the first picture because I can see everything. And this may be real blue. It may not. I don't know. 94 days on the market, 4-car garage. Property is sold in 2007, listed May. Listed in May and still on the market. They took it off the market for Christmas. Here we go. So that's nice. That's nice. Here's the doors. I know I'm walking in. Now, is this as dramatic as a entrance as the steps that we normally see? No. But that's okay. It's okay. It's empty. Not being lived in. I don't think. So nowadays, this was built in 2008. You're gonna have a nice stove. It'd be good if you had the water filler, the pot filler. Not a criticism, just an observation. This is tight. I don't like this. I'd be very claustrophobic. Oh, maybe somebody does live there. Although it seems like not a lot of clothes. What do you think about tile bedroom floors? I was in Jamaica and it was a tile bedroom and I didn't like it. I didn't like because I'm used to hardwood floors. Also, carpet in bedrooms, I'm okay with if I put the carpet down. That's a nice theater room. Workout room. And then the outdoor space. I mean, I'm in total agreement with this. It looks nice. I mean, I think it's a nice home for $2.7 million. What do you think? Doesn't do me any good, but there's the house. And there's other houses along there, and I don't know how much those are, and I don't know why there's that long little streak out there like that. There's going to be a house built there. We can see by the dirt. Who knows what they're going to spend on that house. But okay. Okay, that's what we're doing for pictures today. Let me know what you think. I don't know where we're going tomorrow. We're in Oklahoma City today. I wanted to get through a couple articles today. It's 9:57. Let's do two articles. And then we'll the news has been pretty not interesting lately. Hate to say it. I don't know if it's the beginning of the year and people are just getting into it again or what's going on, but not so much right now. So here we go. One small thing you can do today to ensure a better home all year long. Along my journey as a lifestyle editor, I've gotten to speak to a lot of people who really love their homes and you know what they all have in common. It's not wealth or DIY skills. It's when I sort of design credit. They love their homes because they love working on their homes. I don't like to work on my house. It's a lot of trouble. So this has got like a couple days in a row, I guess. So let's just look. It says day 2, create a to-do list for your home. Make a list of home products you want to complete. So here's a few examples. Scuffed up walls in the entryway, overcrowded and dusty bookshelves in the living room. Dining room feels too empty and plain. A blown out light bulb in the kitchen. This sounds like a lot more than one thing. When you have the list pared down, rewrite it on a fresh page with just your highlighted trouble spots, but reframe the language so they can become custom solutions you can take on. After you do this, I have 2 rules for you. Be kind to yourself in your home, even when it's hard, and focus on what's doable and realistic. You might have a full kitchen remodel on your dream wish list, but that might not be in the cards this year. Instead, focus on something you can get done to make that space feel better for you, extending the backsplash route. So make a list, it says, basically. Make a list and work on it. I didn't really like the way that was written. Here's the last article. New rules for home buyers and sellers in the age of Omicron. What to expect in 2022. I've told you guys that I took off 2 weeks like I was told to by the government. And then we got back into showing houses and I haven't stopped showing houses since. I said that even this weekend, when we know Omicron is coming, we still show houses. And that's all there is to it. It will not affect me in any way. I will keep working. It's put a damper on early 22 as COVID-19 infection rates continue to climb. Many may wonder whether we're headed toward another nationwide shutdown of schools businesses, and other life goals that may have just begun sputtering back to life. I do not wonder that, because even if you do shut everything down, the market was so hot that it will continue when people can go see houses. Meanwhile, homebuyers who vowed that this is the year they'll finally be able to buy a house might feel as if a wrench the size of a Mack truck was thrown in their plans. Will open houses even be allowed? Yes. Will home sellers pull their listings? No. In an effort to shed some light on the year ahead, we surveyed some real estate experts on what their home buyers and sellers should expect in the coming weeks and months. Let's see. So that I care more about this as a seasonal thing, like this is January and what's going on. It says before the variant of COVID-19 appeared on the scene, the 2021 housing market was rebounding healthily from previous waves of the pandemic. It was not healthily, it was ridiculous. In spring of 2021, a survey found that only 10%ers planned to sell within 12 months, and by fall that number had ballooned to 26%. These factors portend a tidal wave of home sales in the new year, and the new strain hit in November, followed by December dip in new listings. Well, was that seasonal? Yeah. Was the sudden drop due to Omicron or just the typical season holiday lull? This fellow at Realtor.com isn't sure. Well, we're never really sure about anything in life, but feels optimistic that it won't halt the housing market momentum, particularly since this variant appears milder than its predecessors. This is in the article, not me saying it. Just for YouTube. We're not through it yet, but so far the virus seems to be a lot more contagious, but also a lot less negatively impactful in terms of sickness and death. He points out the data from epidemics in 1918 and 1950s have also shown that viruses become more contagious but less severe over time. I'm not getting into that. I don't care about that. All I care about is the GDP and the economy have survived fairly well. We're seeing housing weather the variant so far. Retail sales, consumer confidence, and other indicators show guarded optimism on the road ahead. And it says, this lady says, I do not expect Omicron will have much impact on the selling season. The Delta variant didn't seem to slow the thing down here in Tennessee, so Omicron should not either. And I agree with that. The number of homes sold in Nashville in November of this year was higher than the number sold in November of the year before. This upward trend in both sales and the median price per home is continuing. Agree. In the face of the high rates, many home sellers are eager to list their home in the new year because, frankly, they've been waiting long enough. My husband is already retired, and we've been dreaming of moving to Maine for a while. We've been paralyzed by the pandemic. The time didn't feel right in the middle of the crisis, but I think Omicron will be the last surge, and our real estate agent says people are ready to tour and buy despite this current uptake in cases. So we will put our house on the market. I would put my house on the market if I were selling. Most listing agents we spoke to see no shortage of buyers in their respective markets, particularly with more people taking on remote jobs than ever before. There continues to be huge pent-up demand. A take-home lesson for sellers: those who list should expect plenty of offers, although only time will tell whether we'll see a repeat of the frenzied bidding wars of 2021. Well, I can tell you based on this weekend that there's plenty of bidding wars. It doesn't seem to be deterring homebuyers much. I will be hitting the open houses hard this month, says a mom and a toddler of a 6-year-old in Cleveland. I know the high infection rates, how high they are, but the pandemic has also shown me that our apartment is too small for remote learning, plus learning from home. I need a backyard. Many of today's buyers have put their house hunts on hold for the past 2 years of the pandemic. By now, they've had it with their cramped quarters and are willing to take few calculated risks to upgrade. All right, if you want to frame it that way. Younger parents may be having a first or second child and need a bigger house or different school district. I see a bright future for the suburbs in 2022. Home buyers have another urgent reason to hazard some buyer tours right now. Even with Omicron lurking, mortgage interest rates are expected to rise soon. That's true. Home buyers this year should brace themselves for plenty of competition. There's huge demand, but there's still a short inventory. I believe the first half of the year will be tighter with more bidding wars than the second half. Well, I don't know. This I don't agree with. One reason Omicron won't likely slow down home buyers is that much of the home touring today is happening virtually rather than in person. In 2020, during the first wave, video and virtual tours were more of a novelty that certain buyers and sellers retorted to when in-person viewing wasn't safe. By now, virtual tours have matured into far more sophisticated and commonplace experience. I've had a year and a half to practice virtual tours and marketing, a real estate and finance professor at the University of San Diego. We've taken some of the fear out of the process. Omicron isn't softening things so far, so I'm getting my ducks in a row. I don't think I don't think it's going to hurt the housing market right now. I don't think that's going to be the reason the housing market goes poorly. This is just me, though. I'm a real estate agent and a real estate broker, founder of Deerwood Realty in South St. Louis, Missouri. Afton to be specific, but that's an unincorporated place. So just figure South County. I have buyers lined up this weekend. I have not many people selling. So that should give you an indication on where the market is. For me, do I expect interruptions? Some, but I would expect that no matter what. Just being honest. That's all I have for you today. Tuesday been a good day. We're going to get up to 49 degrees here in St. Louis, 50 tomorrow, and that's going to be just a warm spell. Hope you enjoyed the live stream, because you're going to watch it later, I know. And thank you for watching.